fucking idiot! That was your job, you fucking moron! You cretin! You're a fuckhead! That's what you are! A fucking shithead!
Hello community, and as they say, let's get to the meat of the matter of the Hitman May patch. Now, I know this video has taken a bit, but the past couple of days have been a little bit tricky. So because of that, I'm just gonna try my best to be as efficient as possible and get through this patch. And we're gonna comment on the certain changes as we sort of get through them on the list. Now, first and foremost, the black Bruiser suit. This takes about 24 hours. So by the time this video has come out, if you don't have this suit already, even though you've played hardcore campaign, chances are you're a bit stuffed. But you should have it. For me personally, I had it instantly, the black Bruiser suit. It was instant. As soon as I logged in, right after the update, it was right there. And you saw I made a video about the exploding pen, and I was wearing this suit. So as far as the actual quality of the suit, as they say, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So some people may like it, some people may not. I personally don't mind it, it's different. I would have preferred the tie to be red, personally, just to fit the classic suit, in my opinion, would have been interesting. To have basically the classic suit damaged, I think that would have been better than just sort of a regular suit all in black, but it is what it is, that's what they went for. Exploding pen, I've already made a video about how to unlock this as efficiently as possible. And this unlock, is it the best unlock in the game? Not exactly. It's actually pretty far away from it, but it is a pretty good looking. It looks like Catwoman's nail on the front. It's a pretty decent looking unlock, and you can find some uses for it here and there if you look hard enough, but it may be rather tricky. Contracts mode, ICA facility, I've already spoken about that. Hitman Freelancer Prestige, I've already spoken about that on the last patch video. I'm not gonna talk about it again, there's no point. You already know my opinions on it, so let's just move through. Timed Prestige objectives. All timed Prestige objectives will now complete once all targets are eliminated, as opposed to when you exit the mission. This should give players more time and freedom to continue exploring a location, for example to visit a vendor or locate safes. Now this is a big deal, and the regular timed objective, just the regular timed objective, would end normally as soon as you've killed all target. However, knockouts timed objective, hiding in a closet or some other place timed objective, those all would basically end as soon as you leave the mission. So the fact that now all of them will end as soon as all targets are taken down is definitely a good change. That's a positive change. It's made a good difference in my opinion. For those of you who are still playing Freelancer, this is definitely going to be helpful. Item unlock identification. This is not even something we need to talk about. Redecorate prompt. This will just give you a different sort of button to press when you want to redecorate, so you don't have as many problems with it glitching out. In the PC version on where the kitchen is, you can get stuck quite easily because there's too many button prompts at the same time, but this has been changed. Fuse and nail, you're gonna be able to basically drop the nail now when you pick it up. What used to happen is you would pick up the nail, but you wouldn't be able to drop it, and that was a big problem. And the nail is basically a lockpick that you can use only once. And also the fuse, you can't drop it, but you can now store it where the garage area is. So you can sort of get rid of the fuse and the nail if you haven't picked up. You don't have to carry them with you on missions. It's also open safe. They've changed the wine shelf. Now you can open it for some reason. So that's great, I guess. They've also updated the location image of the safe house location. Again, small shit. Lie down, allowing you to lie down in some of the beds in the safe house. Target jingle, we've removed target nearby sound effect. Nothing crazy here. They've added an option for the camera to hide UI for the spy cam. This is not something I think most players are even gonna bother with, because I've never had a problem with the spy cam having to hide the UI. Never ever ever, that's never been the issue. Usually the issue is the area in which I'm scanning is so dark or so problematic, I'm not able to really spot the suspect. So this has not been a problem for me ever. Perfect shooter has been changed, tweaked. So now if you shoot the cameras and the evidence, you're not gonna lose it anymore. So that's a very good change. Do not change disguise has been changed to suit only now in the actual saying, so that's good, I guess. It's maybe a little bit more clear for certain players. Silent Assassin rewards. The Silent Assassin regular one has changed to 5,000 mercies. Silent Assassin no firearms, 5,500 mercies. And Silent Assassin suit only, 6,000 mercies. So they've adjusted the pricing, they've upped it a little bit, which in my opinion they should have done a long time ago. I don't know why this took so long to change. That Silent Assassin, one of the most difficult objectives, especially suit only, used to pretty much give you no real reward for it, but here we are. For this one, if you use Alt F4 to quit the game, you're going to lose the mission. It's gonna be like you failed, basically, when you restart. And I expect a lot of people are thinking that I'm gonna scream and shout about this, but this is just the bitter pill of Freelancer. I mean, when they decided Freelancer was gonna be a roguelike game mode, which, by the way, they didn't need to do that. Nobody asked them to make it roguelike. They didn't have to go the direction they did. They just chose that direction. I think Freelancer, in many ways, is an experiment for maybe things they want to do in the future. But in my personal opinion, Freelancer, the way they've done it, the extreme direction that they've taken it, isn't good. And I think for the most part, it's a direction that a lot of people aren't satisfied with. And this is funny because people will tell me, well, we don't need restarts because we can always Alt F4. Well, now you can't. Now you have to, like, I guess, Task Manager or some other bullshit or restart your PC. But it's just like, why is it okay to do it this way, but it wasn't okay to have restarts? If we have restarts, it's too easy, but it's okay to just cheat and just Alt F4 or use Task Manager or some other bullshit and leave. I don't understand that. I don't understand why that had to be a thing. But, I guess for the people who like Freelancer just the way it is, this is a great change for you because it doesn't really matter actually. But for those of you who like Freelancer exactly the way it is and think it's perfect, you're gonna enjoy this for the small minority of you. And for the rest of you, this is just another sort of smack in the face. And Freelancer is what it is. If you don't enjoy it, I would just say don't play it. I mean, that's the best I can give you because I've grinded it to level 100. I have no interest of ever going back into Freelancer. And to be brutally honest with you, this change doesn't make me want to go back in any more than I would beforehand. It really doesn't. I mean, I think the fun of being able to play a game is sometimes just being able to try again. I mean, just be able to try different things and try different routes and try different... that's Hitman, basically. It's just trying new things, being creative. And Freelancer completely wiped that out. It made you think quick on your feet, but that is always fun to have every now and again. You don't want every mission to not know what the fuck you're gonna do. At least for me personally. But yeah, this is just a long-term sort of situation of what they've done. I mean, here's the deal. IO is not listening to anybody. They're not listening to absolutely nobody, no YouTuber, no nothing. They are completely shut off from anybody's thoughts on Freelancer, and they're just doing whatever they want. And still people will say that's good, and who knows, maybe it is. I mean, we've had so many sort of different showcases throughout the years of developers doing whatever they want and not caring about their community. I mean, we all saw the Saints Row reboot and how successful that reboot was, and I mean, Saints Row, it's like this is basically a generation-defining game, is it not? Saints Row, I mean, we know it sold over 1 million copies and it pretty much destroyed GTA 5 right out of the water. So we also have Battlefield 5, which is a game that was so successful that nobody even remembers it existed. We have Gotham Knights, which straight up defined the generation once more. But yeah, when you have a developer who doesn't listen to their community, who doesn't care, who just wants to do things the way they want to do it, the results can be a little shaky. But this is the direction I will have taken with Hitman 3, and they don't have anything to lose. They really don't, because this game, it's year 3, it's already done, and in my personal opinion, the people who are left working on Hitman, without trying to insult them, I think it's not the A team, but it's not the big shots. I think all the really proper big shots have moved on to 007 and have left behind a team, a skeleton crew, that is just dealing with small things here and there. So I don't even know if they have the skills necessary to even make Freelancer better, if they can even add things to make it better. So I think for what they're doing is they're just trying to stick to their vision and change very small things here and there that they're able to handle. Which is why, in my opinion, Hitman 3 by this point is pretty much, it is what it is. There's no changes gonna be made. The game is what it is. Either take it for what it is, or just do something else. And I'm saying that in the most honest way possible. I mean, that's just, it is what it is, you know. But anyways, moving on through Sound Assassin Recorder. They've updated it now, so Destroy Surveillance Recorder will show up if you haven't done it, if you've been recorded by a camera. Beforehand, it didn't used to happen. You would have a Sound Assassin no firearm, or Sound Assassin suit only, and if you get recorded by a camera, you wouldn't get a Destroy Surveillance Recorder. So maybe you wouldn't know if you've been recorded by a camera. You know, you don't have any Silent Assassin HUDs in Freelancer. So this is a good change in my opinion. Walk the Bulldog, they've added the walking cane item back into Dartmoor, as it was unintentionally excluded from the Freelancer certification TM of the location. And this is something that is extremely ridiculous in my opinion with Freelancer. And another huge problem I've got with Freelancer is the removal of useful items. I will never forget in Paris, during hardcore mode, I was in Paris and one of the targets, it was a female target, and she basically, her whole loop, she was in the bar area, and she would go inside and outside of the bar area, where you have, you know, that guard who can spot you no matter what disguise you're wearing. He can spot you suit only, you know what I mean? That's the location I'm talking about. And all she would do is she would take a drink, then she would walk out and she would take another drink, and then she would go back in, take a drink and do it again. That's all she did basically, and she was in a public eye the entire time. So the only way to really deal with her was to poison the glass of wine. The problem was, they removed all the poison from the map. All the emetic poison, all the rat poison was removed. So basically, you are left holding your dick in your hand, wondering what the fuck you're supposed to do. This is what I hate so much, and I think whoever designed that is a complete fucking idiot. And I from the bottom of my heart, and I don't care if it sounds hateful, if you removed emetic rat poison from a fucking map that is so reliant on having it, you're a fucking idiot. And whoever in IO Interactive did that is a moron, because it destroys everything. I mean, it genuinely destroys a map doing that. And they've done it so often with so many things. It's one of the biggest problems with Freelancer, is removing useful items that you need. It completely, not only do you take away all of the player's items, but then you don't allow the player to be able to take any items from the map either. It's a huge fucking problem in my opinion, and it's one of the things that, in my personal view, has made Freelancer much worse than it should have been. And it's one thing I'm not going to be missing out on, because I'm not playing Freelancer, and that's one thing that always used to drive me crazy. He's removing those useful items for no fucking reason, just because the guy who did that is a fucking asshole, and he just wants people to struggle. But it's bullshit, it's stupid, there's no logical sense behind it, other than just making the game worse. That's it. And that's all I have to say about that. Vote trigger. We've adjusted the vote security in New York Bank, no longer triggered by NPCs, whatever. Nobody shot. We resolved an issue where some characters in Freelancer missions could only take damage from headshots. Now, that's a huge problem, and it's a problem I've dealt with, and that's when you've got suspects that you can't shoot them. Like, they are transparent when it comes to shooting. You can shoot them in the chest, you can shoot them in anywhere you want. It doesn't work. They don't get shot. So this is a huge problem, and I'm hopeful that this has fixed that. Prestige objective peaks. We've tweaked the logic of prestige objectives to ensure you cannot get more than one from the same category. Silent Assassin timed multi-kill. This is something that used to piss me off so badly. Anybody who's played Freelancer as long as I have knows what it's like when you're off to do some sort of a finale and you get like 3 timed objectives at the same time. I mean, just what a miserable experience you end up playing on. Like 3 timed objectives on a mission where you need to take your time, where you cannot rush, you cannot afford to rush because you have so many suspects, and a lot of times the timed objective gives you so little time, it's impossible to complete. I mean, it's literally impossible. Unless you know exactly who you're going after, it is beyond impossible. So I'm happy they've diversified it a little bit, because that's something that used to bug me so badly about Freelancer. So this is definitely a good change. Urgent call. We've resolved an issue where some characters would teleport to Agent 47's location in certain circumstances. I've never had that happen to me, so I can't even talk about this. I have no idea what this bug even is. Never experienced it, so I can't talk about it. But I guess it's a fix of someone's had that problem, I guess. Bat crazy. The collector baseball bat found in Santa Fortuna previously would not complete the pacified baseball bat prestige objective. Now it will. So that's a small little change. No silencer for you. We've removed a couple of silenced pistols from guards in Dubai and Dartmoor. It's not their remit to have silenced weapons. And again, like I said before, this is yet another idiotic change to make the game actively worse. Why remove those silenced weapons? I mean, most of those weapons weren't even top tier weapons. They were just easier to collect. It's one of those things where they've changed things just to make it worse. You know what I mean? It's just, how can we make the game actively worse? Well, let's remove all the weapons you can find that are silenced. It's so stupid and it's so unnecessary, and they just can't help themselves but make the mode worse. They just can't help themselves, you know what I mean? I guess without interactives, it's the flunkies that are running the show, and they are just running this vision straight into the fucking ground. But anyways, cleave knife. Now the cleaver will give you knife kill objectives basically if you use it. It will complete the objective. Collateral kills. We've made some changes to make collateral kill prestige objectives variants complete more reliably. This includes broadening the window of opportunity across ballistic kills, accident kills, fire kills, and explosive kills to register. Extra note, a collateral kill won't register if two targets are eliminated together. A non-target kill as collateral with the target is required for this to complete. I don't understand what exactly they've changed. Brutally honest, collateral kills have always been the same. I've never had a problem with a collateral kill. I've always understood what they mean. I guess some people have had an issue when it came to the shooting, to the ballistic one, that it wouldn't register quickly enough. And that could be real. I always used to do mine with the Hako, Levat, and Covert. I just shoot them at the same time. And I would always get it, but some people maybe have struggled. So I guess this can help you out. Illegal gold idol. They've made it legal for 47 to pick up the gold idol. So, wow, that's a great tweak, I guess. Tattoo tweak. We've resolved an issue when some tattoos and possible leaders will disappear during certain animation, making it difficult to identify them. Now, this is very common. I've had this happen so many times. There's one chick, she's blonde with a hat, and she has a tattoo on her forearm, but that tattoo shows up like once in a blue moon, because every time she walks around, the way they've made the tattoos, and this is from the best that I can understand as someone who's done these types of, I've done characters and things like that, they haven't actually put the tattoo on the character. Like, they haven't actually found the skin of the character, like the actual skin map that they're using, and put the tattoo on it. What they've done is they've added tattoo as an extra, like a bracelet, basically. Think of it as a bracelet. They've added it as a clothing item, the tattoo. And because of that, it glitches through their arms and through their chest and just through their body. It just glitches through. Because they've added it like an accessory rather than just being part of the skin itself. Rather than just making it part of the actual map, the diffuse map of the character. They've added it as an accessory. And this would have so many problems. And I remember tattoos would always be an issue when it came to suspects, because it was very difficult to determine whether they had them or not, because sometimes they did it, sometimes they didn't. It was very unreliable. So hopefully that's a change that's going to help out at least a little bit when it comes to this one. Breaking bread. We've resolved an issue in Dartmoor where it was impossible for 47 to interact with the bread on the table in the library. I have no idea what this is about, but I have no idea there was even bread on the table in the library. That's the first time I've ever even seen that happen, so that's crazy. I never knew. But anyways, train exit. We've removed the moving train exit in Mumbai freelancer mode only to prevent an issue where the game would soft lock following the cinematic and consider the mission to have failed upon a forced restart. So this just goes to show you the incompetence of the skeleton crew that are working on freelancer. Remember, I told you earlier, these guys are incompetent. There's a reason I told you this. The reason they're incompetent is because these are the flunkies. This is the skeleton crew. This is not the big shots. This is not the A-team. Look at what they've done. They haven't changed it in order to work properly. They haven't fixed it. They've just removed it. Because they can't fucking fix it. They don't know how to do this. This is what I'm talking about. And like, you're insulting them. Why are you insulting them? I'm not insulting them. I'm just telling you the truth. These are the skeleton crew guys, man. They aren't fucking skilled. This is a clear example. They haven't changed it to just make it work properly. They haven't fixed it. It's just, well, we've removed it because we're not intelligent enough to fix it. This is what I'm talking about. It's the skeleton crew. All the big shots have already moved on to the other game. They've left a couple of guys who are able to change some things, but again, clearly don't have enough experience to be able to do things properly. This is a very clear example. They don't know how to do things properly. Anyways, slipped past you. We've resolved an issue where the make target slip objective was not completed when a target would slip on a puddle after moving a wet floor sign. These particular puddles were being tracked with a different identifier, but now it both count towards completing the objective. Okay, so I've never personally done this. I've always used the banana, but for those of you who've done this, now you can. Excess alcohol. We've resolved an issue where certain targets who interact with drinks will duplicate the bottle. My god, this is something... I talked about this bug from like the get-go. From the first couple of days of Freelancer, this was such a huge problem. I'm happy to finally see it gone. You know what I mean? Thank goodness. Possible target. We've resolved an issue where a potential target in Miami had a question mark in their name when viewed on the map. Open safe. We've resolved an issue where the open safe explosive prestige objective would not complete when all clues were scanned. An explosive would be used on it. So this is something I've also had an issue with myself personally. What would happen basically is my mind would shut off and I would collect all the clues. And I've done this countless times. I would have this open safe explosive prestige objective and then I would use all the clues because I wasn't thinking straight and I would unlock the safe just from getting the clues. And then I'd be like, oh fuck, I can't believe I did this. And then I'd put the explosive and I'd use it, but I wouldn't get the objective. So they have fixed that now. Even if you've scanned all the clues, you can still use an explosive and you can still get the challenge. So that's a very good change, especially for those of us who can't remember shit. This is a great fucking change. Poison trap. We've updated the definition of the poison guard payout objective to include poison used in ventilation traps. Great, I guess. Correction required. We've updated the item text written on some pill bottles. They now read refill requires prescription, whereas before they read literally unplayable. You know, I think they should have kept literally unplayable. I think it fits Freelancer like a fucking glove. I think it's a perfect fit. I think if there was ever a fucking title right next to Freelancer, literally unplayable. It's a perfect match, it's a perfect fit. I don't know why they removed it. I think it was just life imitating art, in my opinion. But anyways, stuck. We've resolved an issue where 47 could get stuck between the safe in the morgue security room when taking cover there. So they've moved the safe a little bit. Okay, good. Hook, line, and hammer. We've resolved an issue where changing some decoration options in the safe house would make certain items appear that were not there before. Yada yada yada. Helicopter. We've resolved an issue where using the passport exit could result in two different helicopters being visible in the cinematic. I've never had that problem. Bedroom lock. We've locked the bedroom door from the inside to prevent Mastery Level 12 players from sliding their way into the Mastery Level 31 exclusive area. That's whatever. Dead house. We fixed an issue where it was possible for 47 to die in the safe house by collecting gunpowder from the garage, dropping it near the shooting range and shooting it. Now the gunpowder won't react to the gunfire or explosion. Okay. Down but not comfortable. We resolved an issue where 47 would return to the infirmary in a wounded state and not even make it back to the bed. So this is basically a glitch that would happen is he would lean the other way. I've never had this problem personally, so I can't really attest to it. Ancestral discount. They've changed the price of the Ancestral Sniper Rifle from 389 to 38,900 mercy, so they've changed it. It was bugged beforehand, the price was too low, now they've upped it up. Potato. We resolved an issue where a safe clue on a bag of potatoes in Santa Fortuna could not be scanned. I've, again, never had that problem. Tell you what, we resolved an issue where the eliminate leader during Tel Prestige objective would not unlock if the leader was a smoker and eliminate it using an oil trap. The trick here was the target would start burning and would then stop doing their Tel, which leads to the inaccurate calculation of the challenge completion. Okay, stash dump. We've removed the option to dump a target in a very specific place on the pier in Sapienza to prevent an issue where 47 could get stuck or fall into the abyss. There will be a dump options either side of where the stash is. Ay. Campaign bonus. We've added a small delay between opening a reward crate and interacting with the campaign map to ensure the campaign completion bonus is correctly awarded. Target text. Resolved some issues with the overlapping text on screen display. Okay, yada yada. New York sweep. We've adjusted some parameters of the New York location in Freelancer to balance several areas, including reducing the amount of mercies that you can collect from the vault, remove the button to turn off the laser, replace legendary items in logboxes with mercies, removed some NPCs from spawning if they're not targets, and fixed some issues with NPC padding. Now that is a big change, that is a huge change, that is a change that's basically completely altering the way New York works, because with this change, getting mercies right now is going to be a hell of a lot harder, because now the lasers are permanent, and you can get past the lasers. Maybe I'll make a video on how to do that, But this is just another idiotic change that I guess getting that, what was it, maybe 7,000 mercies from New York was just a little bit too much for them, so they had to nerf it down. Anyways, they've added how to play for PS4 and PS5. Stock market. We've changed the prompt on the stock market computer from check the stock market to play the stock market, to imply an element of risk involved. Shed load. We've resolved an issue where the check gun parts mastery level 76 animation isn't always available in the shed. Net worthy. We've resolved an issue where the A Worthy Sacrifice challenge does not unlock in hardcore mode, as if there's anybody even playing hardcore mode. Stability. We resolved exactly 20 issues that were related to players experiencing instability or crashes across all platforms. Puddle Paradise. We've done a huge sweep across many puddles, so that way more puddles are now capable of being electrocuted. Berlin Walls. We've resolved an issue where 47 could be spotted between the gaps in the walls or through curtains in Berlin. Wetsuit. We've resolved 3 issues where the Gauze suit, Master Freelancer suit, and Golden Contender suit were not visible by the rain in Chongqing. Dramatic Suspense. We've resolved an issue where large falling chandeliers would pause for a couple of seconds in mid-air, mind you, to allow an NPC to finish being scared before ultimately being crushed. With this fix, there shouldn't be any such noticeable pause in their death. This, I've never had that problem personally myself, so I can't attest to that, but I guess some people did, so now it's fixed. Ultimate Assassin resolved an issue where 47 could get stuck behind an open cabinet door in New York, causing the player into a restart. A restart? What restart? There is no restart in Freelancer. I mean, even if it's just for a regular Hitman, still there is no restart in Freelancer, so if you get stuck, what are you supposed to do here? If this issue happened to you, what were you supposed to do exactly? This is the problem again, Freelancer. So much bullshit going on. Like, I've been stuck behind the door in Santa Fortuna, I've shown that before. Like, you get stuck sometimes just in maps. I mean, forget getting killed, just literally getting stuck and not being able to move is a fucking problem in this game. And they're telling me restarting is not fucking needed. We don't need any restarts, even Alt F4 is too much to ask for. I'm just gonna stay calm. You know what it is? I'm just gonna stay calm and I'm just gonna fucking keep going through this and fuck it. Quack Crash. We've resolved an issue where triggering a large-sized Easter egg in Santa Fortuna and then shooting at the end result would cause the game to crash. Okay, that probably happened to maybe one person, but I'm glad it was fixed. Seeker Subdue. We've resolved an issue where carrying the Seeker 1 dart gun and approaching an NPC from behind would result in the eliminate prompt being shown rather than subdue. I didn't know about that. Cover issue. We've resolved several issues in Mumbai and Chongqing where 47 could take cover against invisible wolves, clip into the environment, and potentially get stuck. Once again with the fucking stuck. Once again with the fucking stuck thing. I keep telling you, this happens. This really fucking happens. You get stuck on shit. It's not just me that's happened to. You legitimately get stuck on maps and shit. And what the fuck are you supposed to do? There's no restarts. It's idiotic. My goodness, man. Endless decontamination. We've resolved an issue where the prompt to stop blending in the Sapienza decontamination showers disappears once the biohazard team leaves the lab. This can cause players to be stuck in an endless shower and therefore lose progress in Freelancer. Ah, my goodness, I'm telling you, this happens all the fucking time. You get stuck in this game so often. Table flip. We've resolved an issue in Berlin where the sawed-off shotgun under the table couldn't be retrieved in certain circumstances. I don't even doubt that for a moment. Suit count. We've resolved an issue where the Golden Contender suit, Lucky Ducky suit, and Ancestral Hunter suit do not count as a suit with regards to challenges or ratings involving suits. Suit only or Sound Assassin suit only. Yeah, I don't doubt that either. Get Rich or Dart More. We've resolved an issue in Dart More where some NPCs would walk or stutter through a bush near the entrance to the house when investigating a distraction. Cliff Dive. We've resolved an issue where 47 could get stuck in Mendoza after climbing and dropping down near the shrine. It's writing itself by this point. It's a fucking meme. How often you get stuck. Even they're admitting it. You're getting stuck all the time in this game, and you don't need any restarts, because if you get stuck, that's part of the game. So just take the fucking loss and start all over again if you get stuck. You fucking deserve it for playing this piece of shit. Oh my god. Neon outfit. We've toned down the excessive lights of the neon outfit to be more consistent across all locations and areas, dark and bright. This should remove the absolutely overblown blinding effect in some dark areas. So for those of you who want to look like a Fortnite player, congratulations, your suit has been fixed. Float floor. We've resolved an issue in Ambrose Island where 47 could get spotted through the floor during the slapping contest mission story. Wait a moment. He can get spotted through the floor. How do you get spotted through the floor? There's no one underneath you. Is there? The slapping contest takes place on ground zero. There's no... Where do you go from there? Like, through the floor. That's kind of weird. I really don't understand this one. Aquaman. We've resolved an issue where 47 would refuse to put down his briefcase when starting the fishing blend-in set piece in Ambrose Island. Now he'll put it down first, but players should expect the unexpected. If the briefcase falls into the water as a result of 47 dropping it, he will be able to summon the briefcase from whatever murky depths it may have reached when he stops fishing. Okay. From Hollywood with Love, we've resolved an issue where taking a specific disguise from a cook in Ambrose Island will result in Agent 47 having hair, and, as we all know, that should never be the case. Night Fox. We've removed the forced disguise restriction on the club entrance starting location in Berlin for the main campaign. They already talked about that. Patient Zero suit restriction, same thing. We've removed the forced disguise restriction on the default starting location of Patient Zero mission in Hokkaido. Throw camera. We've made it possible to throw items at surveillance cameras to disable them. Note, in some situations, NPCs may react to this unusual way with dialogue that doesn't fully match the situation. Dead Man Talking. We've resolved an issue where players could eliminate the target in Embrace of the Serpent special assignment from a distance, then Diana would introduce the dead target as if they were alive when players get close to their body. Okay, this is a small thing. Hold on, we resolved an issue where some NPCs who get tranquilized would keep a hold of whatever they're holding, sometimes in very unnatural ways. Well, you know what they say, the dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some may consider to be unnatural, so there it is. Door blocker. We've resolved an issue in Carpathian Mountains where certain doors wouldn't open if 47 was standing too close to it, despite the prompt functioning properly and 47 performing the open animation. This issue could also occur if a weapon or item was on the floor and close to the door. Okay, Carpathian Mountains. How many people play Carpathian Mountains? Nobody? Yeah, I thought so. It's good that they're fixing it, but this map is played by nobody. Absolutely nobody. I don't even know how this issue was discovered, to be honest. But it's okay, it's fixed. That's good. Moving on down. Bank Boy. We've resolved an issue in New York where it was only possible to interact with target's computers and reschedule a meeting if you approach her office chair from a particular side or angle. Envy Contention. We've resolved an issue in the Envy Contention 7DS escalation where the bag of gunpowder didn't count as an explosive kill despite players being awarded XP for performing one. Illegal gum. We've resolved an issue where the bubblegum item was considered to be illegal only on casual difficulty. The 7 deadly sins have been around for 2 years. How are you just now finding that? My goodness, now you're finding that that's a problem? It's been around for 2 years. Now you're figuring it out. My goodness, man. Okay. Infinite pickup. We've resolved an issue where guards would attempt to pick up invisible items and get stuck in an infinite loop in the following scenarios. Detonating a remote automatic device inside a briefcase using a gold brick proximity mine, having a gold brick proximity mine explode in a briefcase you are holding, and then dropping the now invisible briefcase somewhere a guard would find it. Back in time, we've resolved an issue where taking Craig Black's disguise in the Author mission would result in Agent 47 turning into Benjamin Button and reverting to the 2018 Hitman 2 version of his own face. Now he'll age as expected and look identical to how he did in 2021. Perfect. The Speaker. We've resolved an issue in Marrakesh where the protester would run straight into the embassy after being poisoned. This had a big impact on the difficulty of the public speaker challenge, as well as just not making any sense that the protester would be allowed to run straight past all the guards without consequences. Down, but not quiet. We've resolved an issue in Mendoza where an NPC in the main bathrooms would still talk out loud even though 47 had previously subdued them. This was caused by the dialogue, whatever. This is an issue I've had, by the way. This is a real thing, and I know exactly who this is about. The guard who's basically in front of a mirror, sort of looking at himself. You knock him out, he keeps talking. That's a real thing. I've experienced it, so I know this is 100% a real thing. It's 100% happened. I know it for a fact. This was real, so I'm glad it's fixed. It's not a big deal, but it was definitely weird. And it's very real, trust me. Very consistent problem. Bubble burst. We've resolved an issue in Landslide where an Easter egg, which was found a long time ago before you go looking, was impossible to trigger due to some changes with our water tech. So this tells me this has to be the Kraken. Because what else could it be? If it's water tech, it's gotta be the Kraken. There's no other Easter egg that resolves around water, to my best knowledge, in Sapienza. I mean, I may be forgetting something, but it's gotta be the Kraken. And it would make sense because, it's right there. The Kraken is right there in terms of the location as far as where to shoot it from. It's not far away, so this makes sense. I'm pretty sure it's the Kraken. Ice Cold Death. We've resolved an issue in the Siberia Sniper Assassin map where some icicles would not consistently kill NPCs that they fall on. I'm glad that the one person who played it was able to find it and I was able to fix it. That's good. Slow Snipping. We've resolved an issue where the Marksman perk of the Druzhina 34 ICA Artic Sniper Rifle, unlocked by reaching master level 20 of the Siberia Sniper Assassin map, does not function as expected. I've talked about this countless times. How many times have I talked about the Arctic Sniper not slowing time down? How many times have I talked about it? I've talked about it like a million times. You spend a week to unlock that thing and it doesn't work. It took them 3 years to fix it. This has been present since the beginning of Hitman 3 almost. It became a bug in the first couple of months of Hitman 3. It's been 3 years, now they're fixing this. What the fuck took you so damn long? Everybody's known about this. Everybody's been talking about this. Where were you for the past 3 years? Oh, and finally, well actually not finally, but back in the patch notes we made a mention of the so-called muffin trick being inadvertently patched out of the game, as it was unintended change. We've remedied that so it will function as it once did. So that's for speedrunners. And then unpatched Carpathian Laboratory. What they've done basically is we listed the removal of the disguise restriction on the laboratory starting location in Carpathian Mountains. This was unfortunately inaccurate and was based off an unconfirmed fix. They don't even know what the fuck they're fixing. They don't even know in their own they don't know what they're even doing. Talking about this not being the A-team, I mean, what more do you need? They have a preview patch of just a couple of things that they want to talk about, and they don't even know that that shit is not gonna make it to the final patch, which is coming only a week later. What are we talking about here? But anyways, these are the patch notes. It took forever, and let me tell you this. In my personal opinion, most of the fixes are good, but Freelancer is so just inexcusably screwed and fucked. And honestly, I feel bad if you haven't reached level 100 by this point, because it's only getting worse. And you saw all the bugs I just went through. I was able to beat, and not just me, but some of us were able to beat Freelancer to level 100 with all of these bugs still in the game. Can you imagine the frustration of getting stuck on a showdown, getting stuck in a door? You saw how many bugs I talked about just being stuck in certain places. Could you imagine the shit we went through? And this has happened to me as well. It's insane. That's what I'm talking about with Freelancer. It drives you insane. At the higher ends, it drives you crazy. And here's the deal, if you're level 20, if you've only played Freelancer a couple of times, you don't know what we went through. You don't know what we went through to get level 100. So until you get level 100, until you get close, you don't know what the experience of Freelancer truly is like. But yeah, these are the patch notes. There are some good fixes. There's more good than bad ones, but the bad ones are so bad, they pretty much kill the good ones out of the water. But yeah. This is me, this is all. I've lost my voice, so I'm gonna end it there. Drop a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more content. Become a member if you'd want to support the channel, and I'll see you next time for a pretty good video. I've got a pretty interesting video in mind I'm sure most of you guys will be really excited about, so thank you very much for watching.